And Destry, go for it.
Hello, everyone. I will be leading this meeting tonight because Lynn unfortunately can't be here. So with that, I guess this is officially call the April 13th Arts Commission meeting to order. Before I take roll call, Councilman or Commissioner Shelley Fagin is no longer going to be with us on the committee. She and her husband moved much quicker than anticipated. They found the perfect house and are moving to be closer to grandkids. Today is her birthday and she's attending the Reser event, so that's why she's not with us tonight. But we will miss her. I think that's all the information we had on why she was moving. But
yeah, so I'm going to try to organize a little going away gathering for her if she'll let me. I don't know if she'll go for it because she's like trying to get her house on the market and do a bunch of stuff, but I'm going to try.
We have our ways.
Yeah.
So they're moving to like Montana?
No, they're moving
California.
to near Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yeah, I was going to say Colorado.
Yeah, they've
That's
had
where
grandkids all over the place, so I'm sure
Yeah, there were grandkids there, so they went there
Wow.
and enjoyed their visit, and they wanted them out there, and that's enough.
Wow, there you go.
Jim's got the info.
Wow.
Change.
Yeah, really.
So
But yeah, it would be nice to do something, she's given
Oh,
her
sure.
life and blood to
Oh.
this, and if we
Yeah.
can somehow, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm.
I
do
agree.
we know a timeline on when? Oh, did she say till May?
She's like, I think mid-May is when she moves.
Yeah.
So it would have to, I suggested like either the last week of April or the first week of May for a gathering. It just really depends. Like I know when I've moved, the last thing that I want to do is go have a party. It might be really overwhelming for her because I think the timeline is so quick. So I'm just going to follow her lead. And just commit to doing something, whether that be a letter that we write her and I'll sign and send to her. If we can't get together in person, we will make sure to send her a message of deep appreciation and gratitude for her service.
I wish it was summer because I could definitely host it,
Yeah.
but I can't. Inside, I wouldn't be big enough.
Well, we'll come up with something.
Listen, I came in late for this thing, and I just wanted to ask Laura, how are you doing?
Oh, thanks, Jim. I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there. Marco's sick, but I'm well. I'm staying negative and testing every day and working from home, which is I personally like working in the office, so it feels like a bit of a punishment to stay home. Not that I don't love my partner in my house, but I definitely like the energy of being around my coworkers. So it feels a little weird to be home, and also having to wear a mask at home I'm over it. I'm ready to get back to kind of some normalcy around the house, but we're hanging in there, and he's improving. It's just a little bit slow going.
Well, hang tough. You'll make it.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for asking. I appreciate it.
All right. So with that, we will go into roll. My dog is obviously here. We will go into roll call. So Commissioner Bunnell here. Commissioner Anderson is not with us, as we know. Commissioner Blanck.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Benoit.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Blaich.
Park.
Commissioner Castillo.
Here.
Commissioner Dahl.
Jane's not able to attend tonight.
I'm toggling between screens. So it's, Commissioner Dunham.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Hendricks.
Here.
Commissioner Lansberg.
Here.
Commissioner Pike.
Here.
Commissioner Silloway.
Here.
Commissioner Trimble.
Here.
Commissioner Jermany,
Present.
Commissioner Rohr,
Here. Thanks.
and Commissioner Wachira.
Here.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And so our next thing, we're trying to start our meetings with a little icebreaker or activity. So in light of all of the loss and hardship that we've all obviously been going through for the extended period, we thought that it would be nice to maybe into the chat enter one word that represents someone that you've lost, that signifies them and is meaningful to you, of what encompasses them. So we'll give everyone a couple minutes to go ahead and enter that in.
So Destry, does that mean specifically their names or something that just represents them?
A
Some
word
idea.
that embodies their spirit in your mind. Who, what, just a word of their significance to you. I'm seeing stability, vibrant, kindness. Ooh, solar flare. Oh, I like that.
Amazing.
Fair-minded, compassionate, courage, and everything. I love that. Optimistic. Well, thank you everyone for sharing that and overcoming and overcoming everything together. Thank you, Fyndi, for that. This made me kind of sad, in a sad, happy way. Thanks, Laura. So with that, I will hand it over to Councilor Hasan for our council updates.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Happy Wednesday. Just a heads up, I am fasting today, so I will probably drop out of this meeting around 7:30, 7:45 to scramble and stand in front of my kitchen and eat a lot of food and drink a lot of water, and then feel really full from all the things that I ate, probably go on a walk, and then come back and eat some more. A little insight into my life as a fasting person. I don't really have a lot of specific updates. I imagine many of you know that we have had 2 unfortunate deaths to pedestrians in Beaverton. There was the one on Hall about a month ago, and there was another one a couple nights ago. And we are, at least city councilors have been reached out to multiple times around what does it look like to address pedestrian safety? How are we addressing this? So that's something that's really top of mind for some of us. And I just wanted to create space if you had questions about that or comments. There's not a ton. I think the shelter, the funding that the mayor has been securing for the shelter, she's continuing to get some more money. So it's possible that we're getting closer to having a shelter for our community who's experiencing houselessness. And there's some work going on with middle housing. So building additional housing that focuses on kind of the middle. There's a lot of history there, which I think you've been presented to before on it, so I don't have to go into it. But if you have questions about any of that, I'm happy to talk through that. I'll drop in last 2 weeks ago our meeting just agenda, so you can kind of go over or see what we covered. And if you have questions, I'm happy to answer any questions that you all might have. I'll pause, not a ton, but yeah, I see Jim.
Yeah, the 2 deaths, was there any commonalities or anything that you know, that you would, if you're addressing it, was there something that was similar about it that can be fixed?
Unfortunately, from what I understand in both cases, it's more drivers, right? So I think it was my understanding that like in the first case, they didn't know that they'd hit someone. And then earlier this week, it may have been reckless and or related to, you know, stuff that they might be under the influence sort of thing. I can tell you, because I see the reports, that we are seeing DUIs go up. People are getting out and drinking. And I believe from when I saw the data, the blood alcohol levels are higher. The 2 accidents that have happened did not have anything to do with drinking, though, to my knowledge. But it is important to be thinking about distracted driving. Sarah, you've raised your hand. You're not Sarah.
I'm aware that Portland is doing a Vision Zero initiative. So they have these signs like every zone is a school zone, or kids are everywhere. Are we gonna do some kind of initiative like that? Because I feel like, I don't want to say like moral public shaming works, but sometimes it does, especially like the set the pace signs, or like I just feel like maybe and especially through the lens of the Arts Council, like it'd be interesting to see if there were artists that would want to participate in the creation of signage that could be impactful. And is that on the agenda, I guess, is my question.
Yeah, I don't know of anything on the agenda around specific signage. I can say that we know that there are better signage and wayfinding opportunities, generally speaking, that I know we've talked about. And it's interesting that you bring up the art perspective. So Laura, I wonder if we like talk to someone that's working on the loop, because I know that like some of the loop work is going to have some wayfinding element to it. And I'm telling you because I don't know who else to tell, but we can talk later about what that looks like.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm in the group, the staff team that's working on the loop, and there will be art that's part of it. And I think it's figuring out what is generated in terms of % dollars, what money are we working with, what is the phasing of the project. They're still working on different designs for it. So I think there will be an opportunity for that for sure.
Yeah, and that's more related to the loop, which is Central Beaverton.
Yeah.
I can ask a little bit about like signage and stuff to your original question. I think one of the things that I know is on my mind is, do we have intersections that typically have severe accidents? And if yes, what traffic, what mechanisms can we look into? And I have a feeling, because we're still shifting in this new form of government, I don't know that we've ever like really pulled at or looked at that kind of data. I don't know that for a fact, so please don't quote me. But that's a question that's like very top of mind, is do we know intersections that have tended to have severe accidents and or issues that do not have the right signage? If yes, what are we doing about it? Mm-hmm. So that's something that I'll be taking.
I think I saw Ryan's hand and then April.
I think that's a great approach to see where the struggle areas are. But I was also thinking, I just got a letter from the city, a public notice that my zoning's changing, right, as a part of all the wonderful zoning changes in the city, which is great. But I would just put a nugget in your brain that it may present an opportunity to address some of these safety issues and pedestrian corridors, as you rezone or develop new zoning. Basically, it's an opportunity to create new development code that revolves around those zonings and as it relates to public safety. So just a thought.
Thank you, Brian. I actually wrote that one down. That's an important, I haven't seen anything about pedestrian in what we've seen so far, which is not to say that we shouldn't be thinking about it. So thank you.
I will just say this is an anecdote that we're in the process of reviewing all of our grant applications, and there is a grant application that came in from a NAC that's specifically proposing a mural for a safe routes to schools kind of intersection by an elementary. So we do have an opportunities to do artwork that would help with safe routes and help create some kind of traffic calming measures around the city, and not just in central Beaverton, but out there in the neighborhood. So I'm sure the grants committee, when you review the application, you'll know which one I'm talking about. But I think that we're going to continue to see, I hope, more of that, and then we can encourage it too.
April.
Yeah, since you brought it up, I was just wondering if we have concerns, what's the best way to bring it up? And I asked because, you know, my kids get dropped off in the bus at Mountainside High School, and with Shoals Ferry and Roy Rogers having expanded, there's a lot of traffic there. And I tried addressing it with the Beaverton School District, and they were like, well, they're state highways, there's really nothing we can do about that. So who do I go to, because it's terrifying?
Yeah, so I've had the privilege to sit on some subcommittee work with Councilor Sansucci. They made it as bureaucratic as possible. So some roads are like ODOT run, some roads are county run, some roads are city run. And like, frankly, I don't know which one is which. And so it depends on which road you're on. And it's likely that just because we're fun, that it's like 2 out of 3. So it's like ODOT and the county. So long story short, I'm going to look up a map as this meeting goes on, because there is a map that captures this that allows you to know. But I certainly think that there's like the traffic commission, which is like a way, but there's also the reality is that these are also sort of county roads in some of places, and frankly I don't know which one is which. And like I said, I think it's funny, I'm like, they made it as bureaucratic as possible because it literally is that hard to figure out. But I'm going to look for the map, and I'm happy to kind of walk beside you and like figure out how we can advocate together, because I myself am like, who owns it, like what's this and how does it work? And it is complicated, but this is something that is deeply important to me, and I think almost every single city councilor. So I'll look for the map, and we'll hook up if we have to hook up outside of this as well.
Great, thank you so much. I
I'm
appreciate
just going to jump out of turn real quick. April, if you have specific questions on that, I can really help you with that, since I worked on the construction of that school.
All right, great, thank you.
And the incorporation of the property into the city. So,
awesome, thanks.
Yep.
Fyndi?
Yes, thank you. Councilor Hasan, I actually have a question about Agenda Bill 22064. When will the public engagement and the public hearings, I know that the time frame is from March to August, but have there been any set dates for that?
Could you tell us what that bill is?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the
For the rest of us, Fyndi.
the Shelter Code Project Alternatives, excuse me, yes.
Okay, I feel like that is coming maybe in a meeting next Tuesday. I'm going to get back to you. I think
it's next Tuesday.
Yeah, I feel like it's next Tuesday. I'll confirm. Yeah, Laura, is that you, Laura? So then it probably is. Do you have a specific question or just generally speaking?
No, I just wanted to get an idea of when, how I would possibly be able to engage publicly.
Yes, Tuesday is, I'm 99% sure it's Tuesday. The best way to email counselors is, I'll pop it in the chat. It's citymail, it's not working, citymail at beavertonoregon.gov. For context, this only goes to city councilors. This does not go to the mayor. There is a mayor mail. I'll find it and I'll drop it in the chat as well. And then Jenny, who's our city manager, is truly the chief administrative head of the city to know anything else that you want us to know. Does that help you?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Sharon.
Going back to the traffic calming, the really unfortunate things that have happened. You know, the point collectors and arterials are on a map, and that is something that one of our NACs, and that was Neighbors Southwest, which Mountainside is in. Traffic calming had come up, and there has been some really good work that's come out of BCCI, which is the Beaverton Community for Community Involvement, to address traffic calming and get that percentage down as far as the numbers of people who have to respond to make that even a doable thing. So traffic calming was one thing. PBOT, which is the Portland Bureau of Transportation, had a very robust program for a while. My son-in-law, who's a tricker, actually was on some billboards and some PSAs on TV that addressed certain aspects of safety and traffic. And I can see that we can do some artistic things in that realm. We just have to kind of flesh them out and see what is A, doable, and B, going to hit the mark. So I would say, yeah, thinking of some creative things from the back to deal with PSAs and things to, I can't remember who it was that brought this up in the first place. But I think, we can do it. We can come up with some ideas. But I think that if we can do something along the lines of PBOT, along the lines of, traffic calming through the NACs, that is the best way of, kind of instigating some of these changes. The NACs are there, geographically to deal with certain areas that can then feed back into the city. And there are 11 of those that are sanctioned by the city.
And if you don't know, it's like Neighborhood Association Committee.
Committee. I hate the name because it sounds like an HOA. People don't know what it is. We've been trying to change it for a long time, but it has been what it has been for a long time.
Yeah. So each of you lives in a NAC if you're in the city limits, and your NAC is a good resource for traffic calming. Thank you.
Go on the new website and you can find yours.
Other questions or comments?
We had a lively conversation with you tonight.
Here
Lots of
for
questions.
it. I'm here for it. Well, I'm always here, and I will be around for the next hour if anything else comes up. And I'm going to look for some of this stuff for y'all.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Councilor Hasan. Do we have anyone for public comment? Sharon?
I have a real quick one. The Voters Forum is coming up on April 28th. It's a Thursday, and it's at the Reser. So you can get free tickets. You can go online and I'll put it in the chat, but it's neighbormail@beavertonoregon.gov. We're looking for people to come up with questions. We have 4 council races and the Beaverton School District. And that the district is going to talk about the bond measure, and the counselors will be there to talk about running for their positions. So the tickets, and I'll put this, I'll put this in the chat, but we all know that we have to have proof of vaccination to get in. The Reser has set that. And so there has been a little bit of questioning in the community about that. However, it's going to be televised. TBC TV is we're going to have a meeting about how it's going to go out, but the feed will go out on TVC TV in both Spanish and English. And I see that Ryan has a question.
It's more of an encouragement. So because the Beaverton School District is putting out a bond, and you're talking about this Voters Forum, and they're going to be there, and you're looking for questions, I would encourage the council to come up with some really good questions that revolve around how they're supporting the arts programs within Beaverton. I've been following the bond development. Full disclosure, I used to work for the Beaverton bond program. I built the new middle school, and I worked on Mountainside High School and some other things. But so I've been kind of following it this bond time around as a resident. And I've been asking questions throughout all the different meetings, through the NACs and through the local schools and stuff, and talking with Steve Sparks and things like that. And I ask a lot about, so what are we doing to support arts programming? Are we putting new kilns in? Are we, revamping, refreshing some of these auditoriums? Are we, doing all sorts of stuff? Because the last bond was specific to safety items and not necessarily maintaining the arts buildings and programs, because infrastructure is huge into sustaining arts, right? And that's what bond programs are all about, is sustaining buildings and creating new ones and all that sort of jazz. So if and there's a lot of stuff on this current bond that's like, oh, build storage for football, build storage for baseball, which they all need, which is great. But I'm just looking to make sure, if I was to have one goal for any sort of bond program, is to have a consistent presence of arts on every bond that goes through for our schools. Just like any other program does, and I'm a theater guy, so I always say auditorium, but it goes beyond that. It's there's a lot of rooms out there that have bad sinks in them, and just general art supplies and things like that. So anyways, it's just my plug it's your opportunity to ask questions about how Beaverton's setting up the future of our young ones in the arts, and we're supporting them. So anyways, I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, and to Ryan's point, it's a $723 million bond that's being up there for consideration. And there is a really nice video that Shelley Bailey Shaw had been trotting around to the NACs, and it kind of parses out what the money is supposedly going for. But to Ryan's point about the arts, I'm going to say, just like the game Jeopardy, put it in the form of a question, please, and come up with something that is going to ask the people, as it's going to be asked at the voters forum, what are you going to do about arts? I mean, you can be more specific than that, like Ryan was saying, kilns and such, but please put your questions in. I will put in the chat the two things that you can do questions and also get your tickets. Thanks, Ryan.
Squeaky mouse gets the wheel.
You got it. And I'm one of the timekeepers that gets to tell politicians, stop.
Ooh.
I did also just want to respond quickly, Sharon, to your comment about the research and the vaccine requirements, and that there's been some concern coming from the community. And I know that city staff is working to try to come up with an arrangement with the research to do some kind of exemptions for specific city events for this, and they're looking at other models at venues in Portland that are event specific. And so I think Chris is weighing everything and just wanting to be really wise about making that decision. And but we have heard some pretty strong feedback that we definitely need to listen to. So I can't promise that will be the case, but it may very well be the case. And I also did want to clarify that the reason that we're not doing it at the high school is that the auditorium is closed to the public. So this is really the only place in Beaverton that's that size where we can host. So
and we did do it at the library, and we have outgrown that.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be a space issue. When you go into the theater of 550 seats, you get people away from one another, you get space. So thank you for that, Laura.
I'm sorry, just for clarification. What is this event? Because I heard two different.
The Beaverton Voters Forum.
Oh, this is the Voters Forum. I'm sorry. I thought, okay, ma'am. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
All right. Well, if that is it for public comment, we can move on to business items. Our first item of business is the approval of the minutes from our March meeting. We have made some grammatical corrections, so if anyone had any amendments with that, Laura has put the updated version up here on the screen. Other than that, do we have any amendments or a motion to Ryan?
Amendment for under new business, board retreat scheduled for March 23rd, April 27th, 5 to 7. Under the primary focus, we need to add goal setting, which is the primary focus of the retreat. So.
Thank you for that. Do we have any others? I can't actually see everybody's face, so if there is one, please speak up. Okay, well then, do we have anyone who will motion to approve the minutes?
I will. I make a motion to approve the minutes as amended just now.
Thank you, Shoshanna. And do we have a second to approve the motion?
Second.
Thank you, Sue. And with that, look at that, we're even ahead of schedule. On to our our staff liaison update from Laura.
Okay.
You need, you need to vote on the.
Yeah, you need to take a vote.
And then I need to interject. I'm sorry. Who motioned to? I think
Shoshanna did.
Shoshanna motion.
Or Sue seconded.
And we need to vote.
Right. That. Yep. Yep. Clearly missed that one. I was like so ready with that.
Discussion and call for the vote.
So could sorry, all those in favor of approving the approval of the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
And are there any abstentions? Then we proceed with them approved. Is that the right? Perfect. Good. We are proceeding as the minutes as approved.
The minutes have been so approved.
The minutes have been so approved. There it is. And with that, we will move on to Laura, our updates, our staff liaison update.
Thanks, Destry. I just have to, first of all, give a big round of applause for Destry, who had to jump into this at the very last minute, and has not facilitated a meeting thus far. So it's really kind of throwing her into the deep end. So I wanted to express my thanks for Destry just jumping right in and taking this on. So I hope that this is going to be a little bit brief in terms of staff update. So we have tomorrow night, as part of our Creative Impact workshop series, we are hosting a workshop called Scaling Up to a Mural. And this is virtual. It's from 4 to 6 p.m. and advanced registration is required, but it's free. And we have 60 people registered right now, which is a lot for Creative Impact. That's a really strong attendance, and we have a lot of interest. And part of it is that we've partnered with Tiffany Conklin, who is the executive director of Portland Street Alliance, and an artist named Alex Chu. He's also a muralist. So they're going to be co-presenting on how to bring a mural to life, from concept to permitting to site prep to different techniques to prep and paint, how to prep and paint various surfaces. So this is awesome, and we're going to record it. So we're going to have it available on our website. A lot of people have been reaching out to us saying we really want to attend, but we can't do that time. Is there any way I can look at it after? And so it will be available on our website after the event. So I wanted to just, she's not here with us tonight, but I wanted to say a special thank you to Jane Dahl. It was through her tip to contact Tiffany Conklin that this all kind of came to pass. So I just wanted to give her a high five for hooking us up with Tiffany. So
Laura,
grant update.
Laura, can you repeat, I'm sorry, can you repeat the name of that the event?
Oh yeah, it's called Scaling Up to a Mural. And it's part of the Creative Impact Workshop series. And that's a partnership between City of Beaverton, City of Hillsborough, and Tualatin Valley Creates. And thank you for interrupting, Fyndi, to get clarity. I know I talk really fast, and I have braces, which is no fun. Okay, so grants. I think I mentioned this, that the grants committee is still reviewing all of our grant applications. There were 21 grant applications for 4 different grant types. And we're going to be convening on April 19th to make recommendations for our grant awardees for the 2022 year. A couple of months back, the grants committee did review several rolling grant applications for small project grants. I believe we reviewed 3 applications, and the grants committee made the recommendation to fund one of those 3 projects, and that's $1,000 award level. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about that grant awardee. So the recipient is Oregon Society of Artists, and the grant type was a small grant. The project title is Veterans Art Program at the Salvation Army Veterans and Family Center in Beaverton. And a brief description. So the Oregon Society of Artists sought funding to expand their free veterans art classes and exhibit. The VETS program encompasses instruction at all levels from beginner to advanced and includes such mediums as sketching, watercolor, oil, acrylics, and fabric art. With the support of this grant funding, OSA will provide the instructor, the facility, and all the supplies. In November, they will host an annual Veterans Showcase art exhibit at OSA's gallery. All veterans are invited to exhibit at no charge. OSA hosts the opening night's reception. Their expansion of services will include vets transitioning from homelessness, as well as their family members who live at the Salvation Army Veterans and Family Center in Beaverton. So that is a grant awardee, and I just wanted to share it's a very, very cool project. So there you have it. And we'll have more to report out at our next meeting in terms of our recommendations for all of our grantees. So you will get the full report on that. So May 7th, I've talked about this before, but I just wanted to make sure to mention it again. City Park Fountain grand opening is on May 7th from 4 to 8 p.m. It's gonna be a festive event. It's gonna feature multiple performing artists. Some you know, some you don't, some are completely new to us. It's free, it's family friendly, and the arts program helps the events program with talent procurement and artist outreach. So it was kind of a fun project to work on with them. So I would encourage you, if you would like to, it's outdoors. It's going to be, bring your kids. If you have kids, it's going to be a good time. So June 2nd at 7 p.m., we're going to do the Beaverton Public Safety Center Plaza naming and public art dedication. So mark your calendars. I would have had Shelley, who is the chair of our public art committee, give remarks. So I'm going to have to work with the public art committee to see who might else be appropriate to give remarks, who had experience with that project. And I can definitely prepare some talking points for that, for those remarks. It's kind of a cool event that we're dedicating both the plaza. So it's Unity Square, that's the name of the plaza, and the public artwork. And it's sort of been a long time coming because we didn't do this during COVID. So it's just, we've kind of been in a holding pattern. There'll be a host of speakers. We'll have family-friendly activities, including a selfie station with printed photos with the artworks, a video screening of Blessing Hancock, she's an artist, overview of the project and her process. That's going to be screened in the interior space of the safety center in the training rooms. And then we're going to have sweet treats that are inspired by the artwork and a coloring activity that's also inspired by the artwork. So we have a really limited space there. So we're not kind of trying to amplify this event, you know, to the hilltops. It's really like, because we have limited space and it's at a busy intersection. So, but we definitely want commissioners to be there if at all possible. Any other boards and commissions, like if you'd like to invite them. Our NACs that are closest, so it would be VOS. And I think Central Beaverton and VOS are the closest neighbor NACs. And, you know, and I mean, anyone that would be interested in coming and celebrating with us, just at a quiet scale. It's still going to be light at 7 p.m. So that is why we're doing the film screening inside. It's also a space that like the public doesn't really go in very much. And we wanted them to feel like they're invited and they're comfortable going in there. So that was the reason for having at least part of it inside. So
Happy that this is finally coming about, that this involvement, acknowledgement, and celebration is finally coming to pass.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I started this project when I was with the city before, so it's really, I'm ready to celebrate and toast it. And so I hope you all will join me. I will definitely be there, and we can get some photos together and have a bit of a celebration. So, and the last thing that I had here, I just wanted to get a feel for this. We have our retreat, our second session coming up at the end of the month in a couple weeks here. And I wanted to introduce the idea of having an art activity as part of the retreat, which would be a hand-painted shoe activity. And I wanted to just say that like this was inspired when we had the Shine the Light community celebration at the Reser. Jacob, one of our commissioners, was wearing these fabulous shoes that he painted himself. And I was completely smitten with them. I just thought, oh, they're so cool. It would be kind of fun to get all of the commissioners to hand paint some shoes and have Jacob lead the exercise. So I just wanted to see if we have some interest in doing that. And if we do, I'll get supplies. And the only thing that I would ask is that you all bring your own set of shoes. And they don't have to be yours. They could be a relative's, they could be your kids, they could be, you know, a friend's. You can do whatever you want. And really it's just like a clean fabric shoes typically work best. So like a clean canvas shoe is probably the best bet. So if you could just like raise your hand if you are interested in doing something like that. I'm going to do a little count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So it's going to be optional, you guys. It's not a requirement, but we're going to do it. And it'll be sort of like the lead in. So we'll run that activity from 4:30 to 5. We'll do the retreat from 5 to 7. And then we have the space until 8 to wrap up anything that we want to complete. So I just wanted to get a general gauge of interest before I go all in on it. So, and that is it. That's my staff liaison report.
Well, thank you so much, Laura. And with that, we are moving into our subcommittee updates. The first one is for the Youth Arts Awards from Ryan. You're muted.
Sorry, thanks. I'm having network issues, so I apologize. I try to turn things off. I forget to turn them back on. Thank you. So we have successfully, we have selected juniors and seniors from the Beaverton area and have awarded them awards. We have on the junior end of things, we're calling it the Emerging Talent Awards, right? So this is the first year that, you know, we're kind of re-kickstarting these awards, but we're also adding in and trying to expand our recognition in response to people's request of, hey, let's see what we can do to expand this recognition program. And so this is our first baby step in doing that as we re-engage this program. So we call it the Emerging Talent Awards. And and we got Alex Moon from Westview High School. He did a performance piece. And I'm going to screw up a lot of these names, and I apologize to those that are listening to this recording. And then we have Hines from Sunset High School, and then McDermott from Catlin Gable, and then Duprat from Beaverton Arts from ACMA. From Beaverton Academy of Science and Engineering. And then Joseph Strasser from ACMA did a visual, and then Moa Sagerholt. I definitely screwed up that last name, so I apologize, but she's from Beaverton High School and did a visual piece. And then our big senior awards, our youth arts awards and scholarship recipients. These all receive scholarships that they can apply towards their higher education or their vocational studies in art or otherwise. I'm not going to screw up the very first one. Wachira, Rosnaniana. There's 2 ANs at the end, so I'll learn all these names very soon. She's from Sunset. We got Dylan Stone from Mountainside. We did Elise Santos from Beaverton Academy of Science and Engineering. We did Elizabeth DeVoe from Westview High School. We did Katie Jacobs from Mountainside. Mariana Elliott from Mountainside. Nina Takahashi from Southridge. We got Rachel Kahn from International School of Beaverton. We did Sophia Sikornia from Beaverton Academy of Science and Engineering, and Sophia Gard from Jesuit High School. All wonderful submissions, really difficult to choose. I think everyone on the committee enjoyed going through it all, and I'm pleasantly surprised with the amount of talent that there is in Beaverton. And as such, in addition to the awards, we're also going to recognize these talented members during the Mayor's Youth Advisory Board Summit. That's upcoming on May 26th, 2022. And we'll do the awards around 4 p.m. It's a much larger program, but it allowed us to do it in the it provided a venue to do it where the mayor would be present and would be able to shake their hands and some counselors without adding something at the last minute for the council to participate in. And then a little addition, staff is going to, it's our intention to invite one of these award attendees to serve on our 10 Tiny Dancers selection panel. So one of these participants will also get to participate in the selection for the 10 Tiny Dancers. So a lot going on in the committee. We've got lots of stuff to do in the next month and a half. Just a lot of coordination going on between the Mayor's Youth Advisory Board to get that coordinated. And then once that goes, then we'll reset and for the next year. So.
Is there anywhere that we can view any of the work that they submitted? Or?
We hadn't gotten that far. To be honest, we got to the awards and then how to recognize them, but we actually haven't considered that, but we should.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah. And you're talking about an online format or some way that's not just at the awards banquet, you know?
Yeah, or even if we had them present here, especially for, I guess that gives somewhat of privilege to the visual artists as to the performing artists, but if there was any way for us as commissioners to view who we're recognizing and what they've done, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll all be invited
Critical.
to the Mayor's Youth Advisory Board on May 26th, which is why I was announcing it.
But yeah, I agree. I think there should be a link where that the board members can see what we supported before.
Yep. If
Are you talking about like on a website, Jim, or in what format are you recommending?
Well, it would be the same way that we saw all the, how we did it. Just take the winners and put them in a format where they can go and click on a link and see what was presented to us, the winners.
Okay. So yeah, it's a little bit technical because everything is in submittable and we would have to give permissions for everybody to like log into submittable. So I'm going to propose that we don't do it that way. But what I think we could do is put together like a little presentation that has a work sample, at least one work sample for each of the awardees that we can send out or share. Some of those would be links too, because some of the works are performative. So that's probably like the easiest thing for folks.
Because Jim, I know I spent several hours pouring through all of the 29 applicants, all of their submissions, what they wrote up. And if there's a way to distill that somehow, headshot, write up, visual, whatever, link, but distill it down, that would be wonderful.
Well, I would say, and I don't know, it's easy for me at this point, but I think you just bring it down to just the work. We don't need to see all the submissions and their thing, just the work of the winners.
Yeah,
I think it's something we can put on the subcommittee meeting agenda and flesh out the details for sure.
That'd be great.
And if there was anyone who wanted to share with us too, I think that would be a great opportunity for someone at that age too, just to have the experience of presenting after winning, going into college. I think that would be significant. If there's quite a few people, but it's something to think about.
We can certainly ask them if they would be willing to.
Yeah.
Some of them are really shy. Just knowing,
that's
knowing that age. So what we might do is, and I may just ask Courtney when she reaches out to them to ask them if they have any interest in presenting their work to the Arts Commission. And then maybe it's just a select few, but it would still be better than not having any of them come. And then we can also have that kind of aggregated work sample of all of the awardees that we can take a peek at too.
As an extrovert, I immediately assumed everyone would want to present. So right, that makes sense. That would be a little easier than I thought. But yeah, I think that'd be great. Is that all from you, Ryan?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And Laura, I'd run outside. Did I hear you give a public art committee update, or are you doing that now?
Nope, I'm going to do that now.
Okay, fantastic.
And I'm stepping in for Shelley, who is our public art committee chair. So we last met, it was the 17th of March, and we reviewed 2 mural proposals. These are private, on private property, privately funded murals. But I wanted to share those with you tonight because they were approved. So give me a second here and I'm going to pull up a little quick presentation. Okay. Sorry, I got to move my toolbar around. It's covering up all the good stuff. Okay. So this is the first mural proposal. This is for the CC Motor Coffee Company, which is in the what used to be the Beaverton Bakery building. And so there are several new businesses that are moving in to that building, and they're in full like renovation mode right now, and they're kind of nearing completion. And CC is known for its like motorcycle culture. They run the One Moto Show, which is like one of the largest motorcycle shows in the country. And then they're just huge like motorcycle lifestyle aficionados and coffee lovers. And so they're opening a coffee shop here in Beaverton. And so this is a mural that will be, the location of this is it's a little bit tucked back, like you won't see it if you're going down Broadway, but it's on Broadway and East. And this is the northeast facing wall of the building. And then the artist that they've hired, his name is Bryce Wong. He has a really interesting, list of experience. He works for Nike. He's a skatewear shoe designer and also a visual artist. When he had presented to the Public Art Committee, he was actually in his studio, which was kind of fun to see. Like he had a bunch of shoes on the shelves behind him, and it was really fun to just kind of get a peek into the artist's studio, so to speak. The title of this artwork is called Pharaoh's Horses. So this is a short description of the work from Bryce. The concept is centered around the iconic tattoo image called the Pharaoh's Horses. In the tattoo space that I come from, these horses represent wealth, status, and power. To me, the idea of using these horses is that each horse represents the goals of Beaverton: building community, enhancing livability, and creating a vibrant downtown. Cece, who's the commissioning party, said, "We love Bryce's work for both its simplicity and its playfulness. It speaks to the CC way." With his take on the Pharaoh's Horses, he takes a traditional and iconic image and challenges it to do more than what's expected. He adds motion, he adds color, he adds feeling, he adds a feeling. For CC, we always use the past to inform the future, and this represents to us the forward momentum of the community we create, but having fun all along the way. And some of the conversations that came up, or just observations actually that that didn't even occur to the artist, like the connection to horsepower, and it totally he didn't even think of it, but he was like, yeah, that's so cool. Like, it's really great that people will see things that I didn't necessarily in creating it. So that was the CC proposal. And then our next, oh, sorry, I should mention timeline. So they are scheduled to do this mural this month if they can get all of the easements filed with Washington County. So that, I mean, that can take like several days to several weeks. So it will go in this spring is what I can say. I'm not exactly sure on timing, particularly because the One Moto show is at the end of the month. So they might get a little bit busy and have to delay it a bit. Okay, so the second mural proposal, the location of this, if you'll all remember the Rose City Modern furniture store, that mid-century furniture store across from the bubble tea spot. So it's on Angel and First and Farmington. It's kind of sandwiched in the middle there. And the space that used to be the vault, they tore that building down. So that's just now a big vacant lot. And their break site is turning that into outdoor dining. And then they're adding this shipping container, which is a walk-up spot to order beer and, you know, sit and hang out and relax. So the artist that they had selected to work with, her name is Allison McClay, and she's an artist that they've worked with in the past. And their notes about this mural, so it's actually on both sides of the building, on the shipping container and on the both sides of the building itself. The proposed mural takes the colorful watercolor rendering of a wolf that represents Breakside's Wanderlust IPA and deconstructs it into a sprawling abstract design that wraps around two walls of the main building and the majority of the bar container nearby. Though a crop section of the wolf may be recognizable as part of the brand, the goal of the design is to use a vibrant color palette and organic watercolor-like texture to create an inviting and attractive focal point. We believe the design will interact well with the more representative and message-driven murals in the immediate vicinity, and it will attract passersby from many different vantage points. The mural will encompass the entirety of 2 walls. So that's detail I'm not going to go into, all the square footage. And will be predominantly visible from the center north side of Angel Avenue at the entrance into the site. So you'll be able to see it if you're driving down Farmington. You'll be able to see it on Angel, and you'll be able to see it from First. So it will be a highly visible feature. And we were joking around in our public art committee that this area, this district, has kind of become the unofficial mural district, which I think is really cool, that this thing is sort of something that's evolved on its own. It wasn't set in policy. It's just something that the BDA and business owners have really strongly identified with, and that mural culture, mural identity is really resonant with this community. So these are 2 really great murals that we get to add to our public spaces. So I think that's it. That's all I have for the update. And if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to take them. Or if anybody else from the Public Art Committee wants to chime in and add anything, happy to open it up. Y'all are very quiet.
I will say that the BDA is also looking at pocket parks that would incorporate perhaps murals in those spaces too. Down by the dance, what is it? Loyal Legion. Next to that is the dance area in between.
Global Art of Dance.
Open. Yes, thank you. And so there are all sorts of areas that are ripe for this type of addition.
I agree.
Great. Well, thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Laura, for the update. And from there, we will move on to the BAC TBB exhibition opportunity with Sharon.
Okay, I think that everybody got the email that I sent out. It was an invitation, a kind of a call to artists for the commissioners to submit either 2D or 3D art. I know that there are some of you that don't necessarily have an art form that you do, and I want to invite people that are in that category to submit something. It could be Jim, it could be your son's work. Ryan, you can come up with something. I just want everybody who would like to be included in this. We have the 5th floor. We have a hanging system on the 5th floor that for 2D art. We have a display case for 3D art that is actually lit and locked and loaded. And basically I have heard from Fyndi, from Jane, and from Jacob and me. So there's 4 out of the 17. And I am going to ask that Laura, if you would like to submit something. And I know I don't think she's back. Oh, Nadia, you are back. Yes. So if there's something that you'd like to submit as well, I have curated the Beaverton City Hall 1st, 4th, and 5th floors for a gallery, nonprofit gallery, where we had 25 artists and 75 pieces, and we sold $1,100 in art, which was astonishing to me, because it's usually, hey, let's just display. And some of those pieces went with the mayor, previous mayor, to South Korea. So please, I don't know if the thing needs to go out, maybe Laura, one more time. We have, kind of put Monday, April 18th as a deadline to me, and it is the title of your art, the medium, the dimensions, the price, and your email address, because I will make up little cards for each one that is being displayed. And if there are others that would like to do that, like I can see, where is she, Peg? Oh, I can see your beautiful fiber, and Destry, get it
Yeah,
on.
I just looked up this email as you were saying this. I've had some things going on and I missed it.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
Yeah, I would,
no pressure.
100%. I would love to. I'd love to.
And Rebecca, looking
I'll
at
be
you.
getting mine in. I'll be doing it.
So at any rate, it's just a reminder that this is a kind of a fun way in which to kind of display the talents of who we are on this board in a variety of different ways. So please consider it and just give me an email and yeah, we'll get things hung. Oh, Laura, I had a question for you. There is a display case down on the first floor that is empty. I know you have to go in the men's room to access it, but is that available?
Are you talking about the big one by City Council chambers or the one that's further down the hall towards like the main entrance?
Well, there's one that has all the counselors' photos in there already. I'm talking about the one that's empty.
Yeah, that we can use that. I don't think it's claimed right now, so I'm sure that they would love it if we claimed it.
And the other question I have is, when is Courtney going to put a call out to public art for the City Hall? Because that would, okay, that would.
It's unknown. I think we're waiting to really get a better sense from the city manager about when things are gonna really kind of like open fully, because that's when we're gonna want to get shows up and going again. We're in this a little bit of a twilight period between closure and fully being open. So I think this is sort of just like a introduction, like, hey, let's jumpstart this and get some art in the walls and get some energy back in the building. And I think,
I'm sorry. The only reason.
Well, I think what you're gonna say is like, is there like a finite time that you have? And the answer is no. And I think that I would just say the sooner the better. But I would rather like give it some breathing room and have everybody feel like they have made a choice whether they're going to participate or not. And then I think I wanted to keep the show up for at least 3 months.
Okay.
So
and I think Fyndi said that she was willing to help.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes,
we'll take it.
I tend to do that. I volunteer for things a lot, and then I'm like, wait a minute. But no, I'm just kidding. No, but I'm serious. But I don't mind helping, like curating, helping, like hang stuff up and that stuff. Yes.
Okay. And Fyndi, if it doesn't work for you, don't worry about it. It's such a small number of pieces that I think I can handle just getting them up and in the appropriate places. So
yeah, no problem. I do want to be hands-on with my piece. My piece is very fragile. Very fragile.
Oh, you come and do it. Yes. Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would recommend that. You be there to hang that piece because it does look fragile. It's amazing, but fragile.
I'm sorry. I'll talk to you later because I was hoping that we not hang it. It's literally made out of melted crown. So if it drops or any form, it's
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. It should be in a case then, I think.
Find the appropriate place.
Yep.
Yeah. Rebecca, did you have a question?
Yeah, just so it's one per commissioner, that's correct. And then is there a size limitation on this, or
well,
does it have to fit in the case, or can it go on the wall?
Well, as far as the case, oh gosh, I wrote down and I forgot what they are. Is it 17 inches, Laura?
I think so, roughly. Yeah. It's less than 2 feet square.
Right. So keep that in mind. As far as the upstairs 5th floor display case, there is a little bit of, I think, more room downstairs on the
There's more room downstairs. There's more freedom.
Yeah.
And I would say that the walls are totally fair game.
Oh, absolutely.
We have plenty of wall space.
Okay. So some of it will be on the walls. It's not all in the cases.
Oh, no. The hanging system that's over by.
That's what I thought you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
And so if you can make sure you put your dimensions in, because it's basically the title, the medium, the dimensions, the price, and your email address and your name. And so I can make up little cards.
Yeah. And then we can kind of figure out where everything is going to go too, just in terms of curating it and making sure that, larger pieces have breathing room and smaller pieces are protected. Sculptural pieces are protected. I see Peg's hand raised.
Yeah. Do you want
us to choose one piece to submit, or do you want some more than one to choose from?
I think that more than one is fine, as long as we just don't have more than we can actually accommodate. So
Right.
I will say that we don't have a wealth of 3D artists, I don't think. So I would say if you wanted to submit more than one peg,
okay,
go for it.
Well, and like Shoshanna, I think is a jeweler, and Jane is as well, and Jane is
that's right.
Knitting. So
Yeah.
I honestly, I do not know who's 3 and who's 2D.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's room for everyone. We'll make space.
Ryan and Jim, I'm pointing at you guys.
It doesn't have to be your work either. I think that's right. What I wanted to stress. Like if you have a kiddo that's art, creative, student artwork, kid artwork, any of that, and family members artwork, you can choose whatever you want.
Kindergarten. So yeah, just think about be creative. Yeah.
Be careful what you ask for.
And that's by the 18th, right? By the 18th to you, Sharon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And unfortunately, your art displays can't contain my work. So I'm a lighting designer, so.
You could do the lighting for us.
Do you have like something that talks about what you do?
Not really. Nothing that's up to date anyways. But yeah.
Do you have a picture of you working on the job?
Ain't no one wants to see that. Me in a dark room.
We'll think of something, Ryan. We'll think of something.
I think your little girl, Ryan, could paint something for us.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sarah, you can get all your kids together and do a project.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of lighting design you do, but I just seen like, well, let me ask, what type of lighting design do you do?
I mean, they do a lot of production work and building lighting.
Big
lighting. Yeah, like big lighting, like bridges and buildings and like production.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could take a photo of the bridge or one of the bridges or a building.
Oh, please tell me you did the telecom.
I assisted on the telecom. I fixed the telecom.
Oh,
I'll put it that way.
Okay. Anyway, get those creative juices going, and Jim, you've got your son who, he's got things that he has done.
Oh, no. You, like I said, be careful. I'm not bringing him in. You're putting it on me. So,
Jim,
no
I know where you live. We'll be talking. So anyway, to be serious here, please consider by Monday emailing me. And if I don't know, Laura, do you want to send the thing out one more time in case people?
Yeah, I certainly can. Yep, I sure can.
Deep in their emails. And that would be awesome. I'd love to see what everybody does. I think it would be so fun.
I don't think we've ever done anything like that before, at least like not during my time. So I can't wait.
This is brand.
Yeah. Jim, you could do whatever shoes you paint can go into a case.
That's right. You're not getting out of it, Jim.
Ryan, you too. Anyway, that's all from me. Sorry.
No, thank you, Sharon. I think we're all excited about that. And that leads us into our retreat assignment SMART goals with Ryan.
So I just wanted to take an opportunity because there was a few questions that were sent my way to answer any questions anyone has, and to also remind people that our SMART goals are due on the 16th, so I can collate them and send them out and give people a week to kind of like go through to look at what everyone else is thinking, and so that we can come back and when we start our retreat, we can get in and have open conversation about everything and respond to everyone else's thoughts and things like that. So one, just to serve as a reminder, but also to answer any questions that anyone has. The one thing I will say that's been a common theme is maybe I'll share my screen here real quick. Let's open up because I can do a visual. Sorry, I couldn't find my button here for a second. There we go. So the template that I gave you, I was rushed there at the end because we were running out of time during our retreat. But all of this stuff up here is really just prompt questions, right? They're really designed to help you think about, hey, I want to do X. Okay, how do I make it really a robust goal that's achievable and that we can take action on? What I'm trying to get out of the output is this section here is the SMART goal. All of this stuff is to help you find the information so you can write a concise SMART goal. You know, something that is specific, you know, because broad things are hard for everyone to be on the same page about, because these are goals that we want to do as a committee, right? So everyone needs to buy into it and everyone needs to understand what the goal is. And we got to find some way to measure it. It has to be achievable. So we're not going to build an arena concert venue where Van Halen can play their reunion tour in. But, you know, it has to be relevant, you know, why now, you know, type of thing. Some people call that need. What's the need? You know, what is it addressing? You know, and it could be a city goal, it could be a community need or goal, or, you know, what's the overall objective? And then, you know, given a time frame, right? So like when we learned about, when I posted all the goals from last time, there wasn't a lot of time frames on it, right? So did we achieve it? Did we make progress? You know, it's hard to answer sometimes if you don't have a due date, right? Where you can stop and then look back and say, hey, did we do this? Did we accomplish it? You know, that type of stuff. So anyways, any questions on it? It's really just meant to answer questions for people. Sorry, I'm expanding my screen. It looks like Peg I can see at the moment.
Yeah, the question I came up with, I was looking at this the other day, and really my question is, we as a commission don't operate just with ourselves. We may be, for our goals, we may be subject to financial restraints, governmental restraints, other restraints that we may not even know right now.
Correct.
And so I'm assuming that what you're asking us is perfect. We start with the assumption that we will be able to accomplish this, unless it's obviously something like building an arena, which clearly we couldn't do. But there may be controls that we don't know about, or I don't know what other parts of the city may have some word to say about what we're doing that could make it not achievable.
Yeah, and I'll address that part of the agenda and exactly where it fits. And it's not quite there, but part of the thing is I don't want to say no before things are said, because sometimes, you know, you can take an idea and it takes a slightly different route, but it's still the same idea, you know, type of thing. Yeah. You know, and you never know where those conversations will lead. So I don't want to say, no, you can't do that because we have all of these objectives. So once we get all these goals up, there's actually a point where we stop and we talk with staff and say, hey, is this stuff achievable? Is part of this achievable? You know, what's the reality check, you know, and then we reevaluate those goals based off of that, right? So it's about collecting all the goals and then kind of paring them down, right? And so the intent, just to kind of reiterate, this was done during the last session, which is a brainstorming event, right? So I'm trying to get ideas out there to brainstorm. So I don't want to put limits on it, right? But I do want it to be based in somewhat reality. So I'm saying, hey, you know, put a little reality on it. What do you think we can accomplish? You know, and we're not going to know all the limits. That's why we work as a team, right? And so we're going to present these, show them, we'll have open discussion about it, and then we'll decide as a group, you know, did we change our goals, you know, personally? Did we want to submit some other goals? Do we want to pitch some goals as a group? And then we start not voting on them, but, you know, we start finding out as a group where we're kind of shifting towards, and then we kind of figure out the realities of the situation, reevaluate, and hopefully boil it down to something that we can do. Say, we can do this year, we can do this in 3 years, we can do this in 10 years. You know, what's our next research? 20 years from now, where are we going?
Yeah.
Can I just make a quick little comment, which is that I think it would be really helpful too if we can, as you're generating ideas, if you can take a look in your binder that you got last time. The council has those strategic outcome areas and their priorities, and this is like the first year that they've delivered priorities that we can actually like work from to do our brainstorming and planning. And I'm hoping that this is just going to continue like down this road where we get council priorities and then we can respond to them, because I feel like the work is going to be stronger and we'll have more financial support. It'll be easier come budget time to make those justifications because they're council priorities. So I would just say, as you're going through, don't let that be, just like refresh yourself with them, have the idea, and then maybe come back and just assign one of the outcomes to that idea so that you can just kind of reference it.
No, that's great. That's thanks for actually drawing that out. That's what I was trying to get at for like the relevant category, you know, SMART, you know, why is it relevant, right? Well, the city, you know, one of their goals is they want a welcoming community, you know, and this fits into that category. And, you know, is it relevant because it meets one of the value statements that we as a commission have created over the past few years, you know, does it, you know, that type of stuff. So how is it relevant? Is it internal from the city? Is it internal from the commission? Is it external from the community? You know, that type of stuff.
So Ryan, have you gotten a lot of goals submitted, asks the procrastinator?
Not a lot of finalized goals, just a lot of questions, which is why I took some time during the meeting. So,
okay.
A lot of people refining what they're asking for. And again, you know, you don't have to create the thing that's going to be the thing. It's about getting the idea out there and making your case on why it's relevant, why you think we can achieve it, how are we going to measure it, you know. Maybe it's a big goal and you're like, you know, we can't do the big goal, but let's do this little small piece of it, you know, that type of stuff. So
because I'm still noodling.
Oh, noodle away. We've got plenty of time. I just made the deadline of the 16th because I wanted time for people to reflect on it, right? Because, you know, when people have time to read it and then let it bounce around in the brain, they tend to be able to come up with some pretty good ideas. So. But I do want it on the 16th because on the 17th, I'm doing the work. It's in my schedule. That's how tight my schedule is. So I'll get it out by Monday first thing. So.
Which is when you are, you have the art thing that you're going to submit due.
Yeah, I'll put my thinking cap on. Maybe I'll walk the building so I know what I'm looking at. All right. Any other questions, concerns? Yeah. Excellent. Well, I appreciate you guys doing the activity with me. I think we have so many commissioners and not everyone gets an opportunity to speak. And my goal with this was to be able to draw out the things from the people that don't normally get to be heard, and we can elevate those ideas. So.
Great. Well, thank you for that, Ryan, and the work that you're putting into that. I know we all really appreciate it. And with that, we have completed our business. Were there any other announcements? I think maybe there was one announcement from a commissioner.
I think that Sue Pike had some announcements that she wanted to make about icing. And I think that she doesn't have audio, but Sue, if you can hear me, you can just maybe enter them in the chat so that everybody could see. Is that something that you might be able to do? Do you know how to enter the chat? Down there at the lower bar there's the little thought bubble.
I think she messaged us earlier in the chat. Oh, she said probably not. You could, oh, did you, there's a correspondence happening in front of me.
Yeah, I was just asking her if she wanted it. I think she's having trouble with her audio and connection. So I'll just ask Sue to share the content and then I can send it out to the group if that's okay with everyone. I'll send it out in an email. Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, here she goes. Okay, yes, just announcing the icing choir concerts are coming up April 30th and May 1st at the Reeser. So get your tickets if you'd like to.
Sue, ignore my call. I was calling you to see if I could put you through over the phone.
Great. Well, if that is it and we don't have any other announcements or comments from anyone, look at that, on the dot, 8 p.m.
Very impressive.
That's what I deliver.
You got the job.
Well, with that, I can say that our April 13th Beaverton Arts Commission meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Take good care.
Good night, everybody.
All right, vice chair, chair, co-chair, recorder.
Hey.
Hey.
Good job, Destry.
Good job. You did great.
Oh,
thank you. On customary, do y'all generally stay at the end and then recap?
It's not usually, but like
okay.
we have been just
we
because
have been because there's just been a lot.
Yeah. So mostly I just wanted to say that I'm gonna copy and paste these chat comments here, which I've done. And I can send those to you, Fyndi, so that you can pop them into the minutes.
Thank you, because I definitely didn't do it this time and I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
it's okay. No worries. We have it. I mean, if somebody wants it, we have all of the transcripts from our chats that's saved in the cloud. So
okay.
This is just easier to, retrieve. So I'll just send it to you as a Word document.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for doing it. You really did a good job. Like truly, that first month I was like, dang, she really is a hang of this
I've been really
already.
like, I feel like my universe definitely just like has been working in my favor. And like, I've been wanting to get like my administrative skills and like all that like intact. And so I'm supposed to be here and y'all are helping me with stuff and my grammar.
Have we been able to connect with Fyndi at all about our meetings the last Tuesday? Have we?
So I will confirm if I can come to the meetings. I also I was going to ask Laura email afterwards since we're still on. I am a single mother and a lot of times my children are with me. And so these distant meetings have been really convenient for just my life in general. But will my daughter be able to come to some of our meetings? Or should I just be distant?
No, we could change the location.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were we meeting?
We don't have to do it at the stock pot. We could do it.
Oh, okay. Just in general, when we meet in person for our if we meet back in person, got you for our general.
Absolutely. Bring the kids.
Okay, cool. I just didn't know. I'm like, I mean, we're a
yeah. Here we go.
Ryan, right there.
Ryan's a child.
Okay, cool. And then stock pot. I'll inform when I can come. Sometimes I can, and we just I don't know. I didn't even know what that was. Lynn emailed me and I was like, I don't know what a stock pot is. Like, I didn't know if that was like
it's a really fun that kind of like divey or like swanky divey. I don't know.
I ended up looking it up. She told me. I just thought it was like like you bring food. I don't know. I thought it was like a potluck type of thing.
I love that. I would love a potluck.
It's an old school fancy bar. That's what
Yeah.
it is. It's an old school fancy bar. Yeah.
It reminds
It's,
me of the
kind of
places
fun.
I used to go for like prom and dances in high
Yes.
school.
Yes.
As a millennial, I
nothing
do
has
not
changed.
identify, but I understand.
My in-laws go at least once or twice a week to happy hour. It is their hangout. They know everyone there. And that's how I feel it is. It's a place my parents used to go, to like go out for a good night.
I'll definitely try to enjoy y'all one day when I don't have my daughter. Before I
Yeah.
head out, I today's been like really good. It's just as far as some things that I've been working on. So I've been feeling really good. And I just want to share this news with y'all. Y'all may not know him. Does anyone know who Donnell Jones is?
Sounds familiar,
Well,
but
it
no.
sounds
He's an artist.
familiar.
He's influenced me a lot, and not a lot, but he influenced me when I was younger. You can look him up. But I got to sing and rap for him today.
Oh, nice.
And
Yes.
it just made my day. And so anyone just think, I don't know.
What? How do I spell his first name?
Oh God, how do you spell his first name? Donnell Jones.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I was just making sure. Oh yeah, I see it right
So I
here.
had to share that with somebody. I was running around the
That's
house.
so
My
cool.
daughter was like, "Calm down, mom."
We need happiness. Please bring it. I am looking for all
right, I
of
wanna
the
share
joy. Like,
share it
please.
with y'all. But yes. So, are we adjourned?
Yeah, but before we
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
Fyndi, I had to say, like, I got to see, I've been looking at some of the 10 tiny submissions as they've come in. Your dancing is amazing.
And
And I just wanted to say that it's so cool because we don't get to see that stuff when we interview you, when we interview you guys. So
Thank
just
you.
so awesome.
And so I appreciate that because Catharsis, which is the video that I sent in, is like I felt like that is nothing compared to what I can do. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it's
I'm
really
ready.
powerful.
Listen, we're gonna get it popping if y'all pick me. I'm gonna tell you
We're
right.
ready. I am ready for it. Let's go.
I got my songs picked out. I'm already choreographing. So
Brian
yes.
can do lighting. We're ready. We're ready. Let's go.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna eat because I'm starving.
Yeah, I know. We've got some flautas from Costco. How delicious is that?
Some what?
She went to
Flautas?
Costco.
What is that?
Yeah. It's like, there's those nights where you just have to pop a meal from Costco in the oven.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that
didn't hear-
was.
oh no.
Yeah.
I thought you said it was like an item. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna eat leftover chicken. So y'all have a good night.
All right.
All right.
Have a good dinner.
Bye.
Fyndi, we'll see you
Hey
soon.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You did great.
Oh, thank you. I was like, where is
Like,
Leave? I'm so
You were
branded.
like crushing it. Truly.
Oh,
you're,
well, thank
like,
you. Good.
on
I told you
point.
I do really well under pressure.
You do.
Like I have the higher the pressure, like I thrive. So thanks.
Good
Good.
job.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing it. And I know Lynn would
of course.
say thank you to the
Oh,
sky.
if anyone understands losing like a pet, like it is me. So
How many animals do you have? Do you have your
like
cat?
collectively in my apartment I have 2 cats, a rabbit, and a German Shepherd, but then including like the family pets, there's a tortoise I brought home in 4th grade. We have the horse. There's 5 more cats, another dog. My aunt who I'm moving here has a dog and a cat who I'd actually rescued from my kickboxing gym. And I grew up in wildlife rescue. So like we have had raccoons and skunks and possums. And I've rescued